Imagine your own virtual world. Imagine a device that allows you to simulate, maybe visiting faraway places, creating your music, connecting with friends also in virtual spaces. Maybe a jungle, maybe the ocean, or even outer space. Imagine your own virtual reality. Let's call this My Vibe. My Vibe can create real, lifelike experiences, simulating places you've never been. It would be convenient, exciting, but it's virtual. So what is the sacrifice between the real world and being virtual? More and more people enjoy plugging in, staying at home, and connecting with customized digital experiences. So now we take in more information than our ancestors or any other people in time. Early humans focused on survival. Our challenge is navigating information and data. So good afternoon, Jason. Thank you for having me today. I'm thrilled with the morning speakers, and this is a so fun. So I work in software, and it's no secret that data and information technology is all around us, and it's moving super fast. In computing, we say that the speed, processing speed or computer speed changes every 2 years. But now, with AI, in the AI era, we see this happening every 6 months. So from 24 months to 6 months. Many people believe AI is not just a trend, but it's a wave. And it fundamentally changes how people work, how people shop, how people travel, live, and interact. So many of you have done this, but you know today we can get complex answers, we can create our own apps, we can plan our vacations, all with our natural voice. Now this is big. It doesn't always require coding, and it democratizes. It creates technology equality for all. So as we think about our digital fluency and also the adoption, it's important to think about also us, our experience as humans, all of its imperfections. So, did you know that when you're bored, you're sitting idle, your brain continues to spin? And it has this amazing ability to connect dots and even find creative breakthroughs. Try it. So the next time you're struggling for that answer, whether it's analytical, maybe it's even personal, I recommend finding a nice, comfy spot to sit down, relax, and let it happen. Oftentimes, creativity is waiting for us in the calm. So, this is a busy city, as is Tokyo. But with this, I want to ask a question. Like, what is your go-to app? For me, it's Maps. Google Maps, Apple Maps, Banana Maps, Car Navi apps, anything that reduces the pressure on me to find my way around a city. I love not having to think about where to turn, which road to take, or which route is faster. I'm not interested in how I get there. In contrast, my wife loves questioning the algorithm and even the direction. She's always looking for shortcuts, a better route, and the ETA, or the estimated time of arrival, is like a challenge for her. So none of this interests me. I enter the address, pick the route. I don't like to make the decision between which route, and off I go. But if I continue on this path, what is the algorithm doing to me? Right? What am I losing? And what cost is it to my own human experience? So, quick question, see if we're all in agreement, but who thinks the time spending scrolling is time you can never get back? Okay. If so, why do we scroll? It's because we love new and interesting information, right? New. Social media, online gaming offers never-ending stream of new, exciting, shiny things. So each time you find something new and interesting, your brain releases dopamine. Dopamine is a chemical in our brain, and it's basically mapped to happiness and satisfaction. It's more complex than that, but for today, that's where we're going to go. So every time you open that app, or reach for that online game, you're searching for dopamine deep down inside. This often leads to overstimulation and creates a craving for instant gratification. Now we'll park that until later. So we usually scroll, right? You know how this goes. We usually scroll until something else pulls us out of this experience, something in the physical world, or literally our eyes dry out. But just to be clear, computers and social media didn't create dopamine. Dopamine is a chemical response in your brain. It exists within us, and it's super good for wellness in the right situations. So when you go for a walk, you go skiing, you go swimming, you go running, you're out in nature, you also release dopamine. But don't worry, you don't have to run and sweat to have this euphoric experience. You can get it, similar benefits from painting, playing music, learning a language, and even just being a helping person. Right? Being in the moment, being present, also has the same effect. So let's look at the clock and do some math. So for example, my daughter wakes up at about 6 a.m., starts school at about 8, school finishes around 3:30, and she's home by about 4. And typically in bed by about 10-ish. So subtract 2 hours for a bath and homework, an hour for dinner, and this leaves her with roughly 3 hours a day of me time. This is time that she has to make active decisions on how she's going to spend her time. So thinking about this 3 hours of me time each day, what if teenagers created the equivalent of a teenager bucket list, right? A list of things that they want to do, places they want to go as a teenager. Maybe it's learning to play an instrument or another instrument, learn another language or another language, visit some famous museums, meet some new people, but like lots of achievable stuff, right? Stuff you can do. And within this list, I challenge you to create one thing that's super ambitious, like an adventure. Something big and overwhelming, right? Something you can't complete in 2 years, 3 years, or maybe even 5. But it's something you're going to work towards. And this came up in our family earlier this week, so I'll use it as an example. But how about an adventure to Antarctica or some other amazing place in the world? Something that seems kind of out of reach. So how do you do this? Maybe you start reading about penguins, you read about the ice cap, right? Maybe we start learning about which countries have research facilities in Antarctica, and what exactly are they studying, right? What are their contributions to science? Now you've got this big, massive information from which to operate from. And this trip seems even bigger and more exciting. But this is a big trip. It takes planning, it takes money, lots and lots of time. So I'll make the joke that it's kind of like an elephant, right? It's big, it's intimidating. But if you know the answer to this next question, please raise your hand. How many bites, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time, right? So with this trip, we'll break it into pieces, right? We'll learn a little here, we'll plan forward towards it, we'll journal about how we want to go, and then eventually, before you know it, you'll be on a flight to South America and a boat to Antarctica. On voyage. Next, we talked about instant gratification. And I'm going to pull one of my favorite examples. It's fun, and it has a great name. But there was a study at Stanford in the 1970s called the marshmallow experiment. It was really simple, right? And it was a study with children to test self-control and delayed gratification, or the ability to do it. So children were given a simple choice. I'll give you one marshmallow now, and you can eat it, or you have to wait 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and I'll give you two. So the findings are really simple, and they're debatable now with additional studies that have been done in the last few years. But at the time, the findings were simple. Children who could delay gratification tended to have stronger decision-making, higher academic success, and were more patient and socially resilient. So thinking of scrolling, social media, online gaming, and this instant gratification, I think of these activities as a one marshmallow choice. Learning to play music, learning a language, getting to know someone, and planning for that epic adventure to Antarctica or some other place. It's kind of like a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 marshmallow choice. So we talked about human experience, virtual reality, maps, dopamine, scrolling, nature, me time. We all like that. Marshmallow, elephants, and penguins. And I promise this is the last AI-generated image. We know human art is still far superb and far superior, but these are fun. So I have a challenge for you next weekend, or if you'd like a challenge for next weekend. Let's call it a Sunday brunch with the family. So start with a meal, right? Waffles, green vegetables, smoothies, fruit, music, whatever it is you like to eat in your home, books, and being together. So one rule for the meal, right, is we prepare the meal to challenge, but I challenge that your plate and all the plates on the table have at least 10 colors. Because we like to think the more colors represents the higher ratio of a healthier meal. Next, if you plan the meal for a Sunday, on Saturday, how about we take the whole family to a bookstore? Everyone gets to pick out a book they've been wanting to read, a book they found that day, but the trick is you can't open the book, not yet. So on Sunday, everyone wakes up, we make breakfast together, if all goes right, and then to mark that everyone's present, everyone's at the same table, we're having a human experience together, we say itadakimasu, or whatever it is that you say in your own homes. Do lots of things to mark the moment. And we eat. And then after the meal, maybe we play Junkin or find a way of determining who's going to do the dishes. Now this is really important. So once that's done, the area is clean again, we pass out the books. So if this very simple activity, we've invested in your health, or our health. We've delayed our gratification, you know how important that is, and come together as a family. So these are the moments in between the moments. So speaking of dishes, have you seen this quote before? When you are doing the dishes, do the dishes. And I've even heard of some people who hang this sign up in their kitchen. So this is from the famous Vietnamese Zen Buddhist monk, Thich Nhat Hanh. And I used to think it meant, like, make sure you get them real clean, right? Like, make sure, get them clean. But oversimplifying this message, it brings us back to the moments in between the moments. You know, it's a message of, look at what you're doing. Feel the soapy sponge. Feel the warm water. Are you going counterclockwise? Are you going clockwise? How does the dish feel in your hand? Is it a thick dish? Is it a thin dish? Right? Don't be distracted, but do the dishes. And as you think about this, it's not about the dishes, but it should be when you're doing the dishes. So think where your feet are planted, stand in your space, and be present. So we all know and love that there's a lot of technology out there. But we need to also invest in our human experience as we go. Make time to reflect, inhale, exhale, and be present. Now many of us know this often used phrase, this idea of ichigo ichie. So where I look at it today is be present in the moments in between the moments, as I believe this is the human way. Thank you.